Welcome back, everybody, to the briefest analyst desk segment ever. We're going to go around the horn for predictions. It's FreeZe versus FTWin. All the players are in the lobby right now, and we're going to go ahead and run it. So, going around, Nine, we'll start with you. What do you think about this set? Who's going to come out on top?
So, with their in-the-zone victory, I feel much more confident with FTWin on Splat Zones than I did last week at this time. I have them taking it very narrowly in a 5-4 set, provided that all things stay okay on the internet side.
Sounds good. Prodigy, how about you?
So speaking of just from TASL results, I will go with FreeZe. However, obviously they haven't been able to practice very much because of these internet issues. So FTWin definitely has had time to prepare for them. So I would not be surprised if FTWin does still take this.
FLC?
I don't think there's really, like, we've got one player playing from tabletop in his friend's kitchen. So this is... I mean, we've got all the drama required for a crazy set, and we haven't even started the set yet. So, frankly, I would say that I just favor FTWin in general, but at the same time, FreeZe has this crazy adrenaline rush right now from suddenly actually making the playoffs that they thought they had been locked out of because of internet problems. So I have no idea what to expect. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a really difficult one to tell. Honestly, I probably would have picked FreeZe entering this, but with all the circumstances, who knows which way it's really going to go. As FLC just mentioned, Noctis is currently playing from a friend's house in handheld mode. Or on tabletop mode, excuse me. So we'll see exactly how that pans out for FreeZe as we send it over to our casters. For the second semifinal, it's FreeZe versus FTWin to determine who joins Starburst in the championship match.
Welcome back, everybody, to our second match of the day, second semifinals, FreeZe versus FTWin. Took a little bit to get off of the ground, didn't it, Rissa? But I'm here, struggling to co-caster, or main caster, I guess. Rissa helping me out, and we've got a hell of a match ahead of us, do we not?
Yes, we do. We were talking about this earlier. You know, when I think of teams that, you know, I don't know where the set is going to go. Anything can happen. These are teams that I think of. So FreeZe versus FTWin, we are definitely in it for a good set.
Yes, we are. And again, we're starting out on Clamblitz. So we're going to be on Clamblitz Inc. Art Academy, which is... we saw a good set last time, and I'm hoping we get a good set this time. We'd have a bit of a wait, a bit of a problem before we could get this set started. Noctis currently sitting feet up at a desk in someone else's kitchen playing the game right now. So expect some different gameplay coming up from Noctis potentially. I mean, I'm hoping that he plays as well as he normally plays. Him and Mika are incredibly. Mika and Free are an incredibly strong, basically try attacking frontline set. I mean. All of the players on FreeZe are great, but I always look towards those guys as like a triplet or a duo, specifically Noctis and Free as a duo, as a really strong frontline. And
yes,
they are. Strong answer to this, don't you think?
You're gonna have to have an answer to this, and these two teams too. They actually scrim each other a lot, so they know each other very, very well, and you know, we're gonna have to see. Behind the scenes, if one team or the other has really been practicing, you know, you know, I'm really hoping this goes to another game 9, if I'm being honest, because these two teams are teams that I think of, you know, I don't know what can happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, both of these teams could take this, in my opinion. I think they're just, I mean, look, they're strong. I don't know, but everybody thinks that these guys should have been the one that took top spot in both of their regions. However, I'm going to be interrupted. We're going to get started. First game of the set, Clamblitz on Inkbot Art Academy, FreeZe versus FTWin, semifinals number 2.
Yes, and coming out here as we look at both teams' comps, right away we're seeing a double armor on the side of both teams, actually. Both teams have a Tri-Slosher. And right away here, as both teams are going into mid, 2 are down immediately on the side of FreeZe. So FTWin gonna go ahead and push up. He Keo here acting very aggressively with this Tri-Slosher, getting that pick on Free, slowly pushing up and making sure that he pushes up carefully.
Yeah, huge gameplay there on that one. I mean, look, FTWin already with the best of the basket, 2 down though, so they're only gonna get a little bit on that one there, which is not too good.
Yeah, and FTWin here was able to go ahead and score 1 clam in. As they were pushing up, they got map control, they had some specials ready there, but they didn't quite have any clams to follow up that push. So right now, FreeZe does have 19 clams on board, but 1 does go down on the side of FreeZe, and FTWin already has 14 clams ready. If you look on the top left side of the screen, you can see that FTWin has 14 clams, 15 clams now, and there are 3 down on the side of FreeZe. So FTWin sitting pretty confidently here, doing what they do, playing very well off of each other, and Bert here trying to work to safely push up to get in this position to score this clam.
Yeah, that's for sure there, and FTWin doing an incredible job to hold that position. They do have the clam control at the moment. FreeZe being pushed back by that rain. They can't quite get in. They haven't really managed to get any footing in this match yet. Every time they've forced FTWin back, they've never managed to get too much of a mid control here. Looking towards getting those armors to push out. I mean, if they can push out, FTWin holding aggressive positioning, and I mean, honestly, like just strong play from FTWin all round.
Yeah, they again too, both teams have double armor here, but FTWin's double armor, I feel like they're just chaining very well off of each other. So FTWin is doing a great job at chaining their armors together. Right now we see them working to keep the basket open. Keo is under the basket here, making sure he just juggles around with this Tri-Slosher. Finally gets called out though by FreeZe, and now FreeZe is starting to try and, you know, focus up Shaq and Biscuit over here to get them. But Biscuit, Inkjet out, gets the pick, but does get sniped in turn by Zera.
Yeah, huge play there. Again, it's just been FTWin holding that control consistently. It's intense. Like Zara's with, well, I mean, we barely even mentioned this Squiffer. Just a great pick, interesting pick, but a strong pick at that. FreeZe finally getting 2 down from FTWin, so an opportunity for them to push in. They can become aggressive. They've got the inkjets out, they've got the arm out. Mika's going to be able to get that clam in, so they're going to have something to start here. They need to get some opening picks to get some more clams. In fact, they just need more clams in general. They only have 4, and they don't have control of the plat. So FTWin already just basically wasting time, managing to get the pickup picks, and that's FreeZe. Their opportunity squandered, only managing to get it down to 71 on that push.
Yeah, that was a small push, and now FTWin, another clam. So they have 2 power clams ready for a counter push. And right now we're seeing both of the teams here trying to work up pain around mid. FTWin has great mid control right now as they have 3 specials online. We're seeing Free using those missiles there to try and counter the 3 specials that FTWin has ready. So, but looks like FTWin here, Bert leading the charge, gonna go ahead and score this clam and keep the pressure up as 3 are down on the side of FreeZe right now.
I'm not gonna lie, well, I mean, that's the knockout, but Noctis was in the enemy spawn. I assume it was an attempt to stop the clam from being picked up and jumped in, but that's not gonna do much if FTWin are mounting such a strong push on your plat. And I guess, well, I mean, it's FTWin's game. FTWin taking it all the way for the first match and making it look quite easy against FreeZe, which not really expected.
Yeah, they did make that look very easy. I think something I just really stood out to me is the way they were chaining the double armors. I mean, they were playing very well off of each other. It was making it, you know, that much harder for FreeZe to be able to break those armors. You know, with a Squiffer too, that's not something you want to see is a double armor straight ahead.
It's the Shaq difference, and like, I mean, look, FTWin just putting on a clink. They controlled the flow of the match. FreeZe not looking bad. They definitely managed to get some. They managed to break FTWin's like line quite often, but they never really got a substantial push going, which is somewhat troublesome for them, or at least somewhat troublesome for their future. However, that being said, we are going into the FreeZe map pick next on Splatzone's new Albacore Hotel. So I'm very interested and how this one's going to work out. And what do you think, Krista?
For this one in particular, I think that we're going to hopefully on the side of FreeZe see a charger come out. I mean, this is a map where you want to have range, this map and mode. And also, you know, I know that FTWin, they have a counter. They have counter weapon picks that I've seen them use. Like I've seen Bursty on the 96 Scal as the armor for FTWin. So, you know, I'm wondering if that's going to come back out, if they're going to adapt the way I've seen them before with weapons that have more range.
Yeah, interesting. Oh well, as we say that going into this match, what was that? Is that the Rapid Pro Deco and the E-liter as well coming out from FreeZe? So they're definitely going to be buying into that range. I'm looking forward to that because Noctis used to be known for his Rapid Blaster, incredibly strong player in that regard. FTWin on the other hand, bringing out a more typical comp. They've got the CDS, who also a Rapid of their own, and the Nautilus as well, which is super interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And definitely haven't really seen FTWin pull out a Rapid, which I think is a great pick for this map too. As we see right away here, FreeZe did get control of the zone. They got the score down to 79, but FTWin here was able to follow up, work together to push into the zone, and now their lead is going to go ahead and flip onto FTWin's side as they have used their armor now, and Biscuit, I believe that is using that inkjet with the armor to push FreeZe back.
I mean, FreeZe doing an incredible job avoiding that special and the baller as well. Mika and Free do end up going down, but they were doing an incredible job avoiding the shots from that. Not just staying alive, looking for a pick. Oh, the crapid gameplay there. And is that the Biscuit fall off? You know he's clipped that. You know he's clipped that, and he's putting that on Twitter. He gets the fall off onto Noctis. Kill does go down on the front line, but that counter is ticking down further and further while Biscuit is on the zone and holding it tight.
Yeah, Biscuit here. I like that Biscuit's holding the zone here, kind of just watching out to see where anyone is coming out. And right here, there are two down on the sides of FreeZe. We're seeing Zera here trying to frantically paint the zone, but game 2 is going to go ahead and go over to FTWin.
FTWin coming out of the gate strong here in the second semi-final, looking 2 up already, and on FreeZe's map pick. So, well, I mean, their choice to go Crapid definitely paying off. I think Kyo making that pick was instrumental in their aggression, and combining that with the fall off from Biscuit was, I mean, it was oppressive. It was tough to fight, and with a weapon like the Rapid Pro Deco and the E-liter, using going against those faster fire rate oppressive weapons like that disrupt their where they're standing, it can be quite troublesome. So I think a very clever pick by FTWin on that map.
Yeah, that was a very clever pick. The way I love that both teams came out with a Rapid Blaster. I feel like that's been recently in the meta. Of a Rapid Blaster to answer.
Definitely. Well, going on to Muscle Forge now. A tower control. I think potentially a mode that's going to be a bit more in the way of, well, it could be a bit more in the way of FreeZe in my mind. As Alice was saying, Splat Zones was typically FTWin's weaker mode, but they were looking quite strong on there, especially on the Albacore map, which was a lot wider. So looking into Muscle Forge, I'm curious how FreeZe are going to take that, or at least they're going to press that with their composition. Looking for big things coming out from the backlines of FreeZe, especially considering it's completely different to. FTWin don't run a backline. They're a full quadruple frontline composition. So maybe getting that usage out of the backline is going to be key for their victory.
That is true. That's going to be really interesting to see. Of course, we're going to know for FTWin, Biscuit on that Nautilus acting as the range for FTWin. So on the side of FreeZe, we are seeing Zera come out with the Firefin splatter scope instead of a Stingray. So that bomb rush could be very crucial in the tight corners of this map.
Well, already FreeZe coming out with the early push. Nobody's been taken down yet. FTWin, Bursty looking for taking on the 1v2. Nearly doing just to get out of it, but does get taken down in the end. And FreeZe losing another member, but it's a 2v2 at the moment. Mika being pressured back by the missiles. Missiles, incredibly strong special for zoning people out, and a combo with the Inkjet is quite dangerous. Mika, beautiful direct burst bomb there. Doesn't quite wait. Okay, I was gonna say, how does he manage to get out? But that was intense. Like, how was he surviving for that
That
long?
was intense. That was a very good tri-slosher moment there, but we saw Kyo with the follow-up there. And now Kyo actually acting very aggressively here, using that armor to help push up here. Now Kyo...
Teams showing up now at showing us what they've got. The tower does continue to push forward for FTWin. They do manage to get that first checkpoint. Looking for the second now. FreeZe has already lost the member. Free going down. Hopefully that's going to hold for a bit so that Mika can allow his teammates to come back in for the German team. Not really doing too much for them at the moment. Mika looking for that mid control doesn't well, I mean, he's getting the kills, he's destroying the win, but the rest of his team going down in the process. I think that was a bit of a delayed triple, but a triple nonetheless. Definitely something crazy coming out there.
That was a great triple there. Now that their team is there able to follow up, you can see that they made the call out where Biscuit is, because they know that Biscuit's the last member up, but Biscuit here is just holding on, not bothering to jump out at all, keeping up the aggression. He knows that his teammates will be back in mid with him at any second here. And now Biscuit gonna go ahead and push up, get one pick, and now there's 2 down on the side of FreeZe, but there's also now 2 down on the side of FTWin. So a lot of juggling, just both teams back and forth here in mid.
Yeah, FreeZe finally, well, it looking like they had control of the mid for a second. They do manage to take out one member of FTWin. An opportunity for them to push. They need to start working towards getting those specials, getting that aggression going. Free looking for an early pick. They're going to be able to get to that first checkpoint, potentially coming through. Zaraz with a bomb rush, going to be huge. The missiles disrupt for a little bit, but it's enough time for them to get that checkpoint. And that is going to be the lead. Still a shaky lead, not good enough yet. Kyo trying to stop the tower at the moment. Does manage to stop the tower and take out a member of FreeZe. I think that might be the end of that push there. A decently solid one coming out from FreeZe after quite a shaky start to the match.
Yeah, that was a really, really good push to add to the board here. And I love that Free has their missiles ready, but is going to go ahead and jump back to be safe with their team. Free knew that FTWin already knew they were on the maps, so they were ready to call him out. Very safe move to jump back with missiles, but now there's 3 down, only 2 up on the side of FreeZe here as FTWin is pushing the tower to this checkpoint.
Yeah, FTWin now with the opportunity, they're looking a lot more strong around this checkpoint. FreeZe not really being able to push in. Shaq providing a great defensive line alongside Biscuit, obviously. Biscuit pushing into spawn, managing to pick up 2, looking for a 3rd as well. Incredible gameplay from him, and I mean incredible gameplay from FTWin as they push through that final checkpoint and look towards knocking this one out.
Yeah, FTWin here in the last millisecond here is going to go ahead and just knock out the tower, complete KO, and game 3 will go to FTWin.
Definitely, FTWin showing how strong they are. This is kind of scary looking, scary look for FreeZe, especially after 3 consecutive losses like this. It probably doesn't feel too good to fight like this. I mean, FTWin. I know that everybody says they're the best in the West, all right? And they are. I mean, their results say that they're the best in the West. But this is unprecedented. They've been practicing in the training room day by day. Obviously, they really want to take this TASL championship.
They really do, and FTWin's synergy. No matter how many times I watch them, no matter how many tournaments they're in, their synergy is always just insane. They play off each other so well, and I mean it's really showing through with these first 3 maps and matches already.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, well, we're going on to a neutral map now. So potentially an opportunity for FreeZe to make a comeback. It is going to be Splat Zone. So Splat Zone's on the Reef, the self-proclaimed FTWin worst mode. So an opportunity for FreeZe to earn that momentum. They need to come out swinging, basically. They need to take this one nice and fast. Being 3 down so early on in the set, it's going to be quite tough for them to make a comeback if they don't get a map on the board. And I think this is one of their best opportunities for the next 3 or so matches.
Yeah, it is, especially since, this is neither team's pick. This is a neutral pick, and it's definitely going to be a very big opportunity for FreeZe to go ahead and take this set. So, again, we were talking about, too, in the last set that we watched on stream, that this middle bridge right here on the Reef, no matter what mode it is, you want to make sure you have control of that middle bridge. So, for the Reef splat zones, it's really going to be crucial to see who can get control of that middle bridge and then from there be able to push up.
I'm curious if we'll see sort of similar things to how Starburst were playing from FTWin. They showed a bit of it in that Muscle Forge map. They waiting for their specials before even trying to take mid control. So like being a lot slower, waiting, playing patiently. It's kind of what we saw coming out from the more Muscle Forge, and I'm expecting a similar thing here. We are going to see a single armor on the side of FreeZe, and FTWin were basically the same comp that they've had all day. So I'm curious how this one's going to play out, specifically for Shaq with the CDS.
Yeah, Shaq using the CDS, I definitely think that'll be really interesting. And again, of course, FTWin with that double armor that they've been using so well. So right now, Micah here, Micah trying to push up and gets that pick on Bert and helps to get the zone. But I mean, right away, it's already challenged by FTWin here as both teams are just trying to paint over the zones here.
Yeah, looking at least a decent start for FTWin, for FreeZe, in fact. They did manage to get a couple early picks. They are going down now, but it looked somewhat strong. Maybe a little bit of a promising look. Maybe that bridge control would have been a bit more important as Biscuit manages to take out Mika with a really good inkjet shot. FTWin holding a little bit further back, not looking to hold that bridge as tight, potentially scared of Zaraz on the charger, playing around that long range. They know they don't have a charger of their own to fight that, so they don't want to approach it.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Having a charger looking directly at that bridge that you know that you need control of is definitely something you have to watch out for. So FreeZe now in a position to go ahead and get the zones back. Noctis here getting that really good pick on Biscuit. So now that has led FreeZe to be in control of the middle bridge here. Noctis following up, getting that pick on Kyo. I'm sure someone called out that Kyo was there bugging them. And now, even though they were on the bridge, though, FTWin there underneath was able to get control. Notice that there was nodes on the zone and get control of the zones. And now the zones are back in FTWin's favor.
I mean, Noctis was putting on a bit of a clinic there with the sloshing machine. Biscuit, though, showing why they're one of the strongest Nautilus players in the game. They're decimating him, and like you said, the zone control coming out, even without bridge control, potentially due to the fact that FreeZe were pushed so far back, thanks to Kyo's earlier attempts. We didn't really get to see how many kills, or if he got many kills off of that, but that high level aggression would have been truly disruptive to FreeZe. Nonetheless, FreeZe do manage to take the zone temporarily to put a penalty back on. Noctis looking for a pick. Kyo hears him, gets the call out, comes back, takes out Noctis. Amazing pincer there by them, and the bridge control still strongly in FTWin's favor.
Yes, it is, and both teams here are going to go ahead and use armors. Kyo going to use this rain, use that armor to push up, and gets the trade with Mika. So now, I mean, FTWin still has a zone. They have now lost their penalty. So both teams have 3 up. FTWin has no penalty, and now they are counting down the score here. Though, notate that FreeZe has 3 specials ready, so looks like they're going to try and wait to get in a safe position to use those. As they start using them with the armor, Noctis is going to go ahead and start pushing up with that.
He's looking for a pick here onto Biscuit. Does get taken out, though, which is unfortunate for him. His team does manage to had the inkjet or wanted to keep Biscuit away from that zone control to manage to get the flip in time. So they put the penalty down. It's not going to be a solid keep. Biscuit does put the inkjet, but perhaps a little bit too prematurely. Doesn't matter though. Manages to take out Noctis. A huge pick. The rest of the team can feed off of that one as another member drops for FreeZe, and that counter starts keeps on ticking on down. They want to burn through that penalty as fast as possible.
Yes, they do. That 25-point penalty that FTWin has. They just need to get through that. As on the side of FreeZe, I mean, there's 2 down here. Zera has that bomb rush ready, but they know that they need another special paired with that, at least another special paired with that, to be able to use that effectively. So now FreeZe is going to use that bomb rush. They have missiles that they put out. and we're actually able to go ahead and get control of the zones with those.
Yeah, Biscuit. Look, Biscuit's just been destroying. What is going on? FTWin, like, all the members of their team are incredibly strong, but Biscuit specifically has been absolutely putting on their clinic. Like, I mean, taken out there, understandably, that wasn't even a jump. That doesn't. It's not a mute point compared to the fact that Biscuit's sitting pretty on 13 kills already, and it's just, it's just dirty.
Yes, Biscuit always putting in work, always like doing a great job at positioning, being able to follow up with their teammates. And right now we're seeing the zone just juggling back and forth here. FreeZe knows that they just need to paint it to give FTWin that penalty, and they do just that. But 2 are down, 3 are down now on the side of FreeZe as we go into the last 15 seconds of the match, and FTWin has the zone here. They've called out where the last member is, and they got that last member as well. So FreeZe not looking too good here with no specials as we go in the last 5 seconds of the match.
Yeah, not looking too good for FreeZe. They need to get some huge picks coming out. Panic zone's not going to do much for them, and they do run out of time. So that's FTWin again with another win, making it a 4-0 at the moment. Doing pretty good, showing why they're one of the best in the West and showing why they should be winning the TASL crown. FreeZe, on the other hand, not doing too... they're not doing bad. Let it be, know this at least. FreeZe might be losing this, but they're an incredibly strong team. It's just FTWin are also a ridiculously strong team. This is not to knock FreeZe on this half. They are both playing incredibly well.
Yes, and you know, I mean, FTWin, I'm sure they've been really working hard behind the scenes. So I mean, their synergy right now is just insane. They're playing so well off of each other. And FreeZe too, they're doing a great job at trying to like keep their specials to work together. They're not trying to like pop them willy-nilly. They're trying to pair them up together. It's just that FTWin is kind of doing a great job at countering the specials playing defensively.
Well, I mean, in the good way at least, there wasn't a knockout this match. So it could be a sign that FreeZe are coming back. They've got they're warming up. I mean, they've been in a rough situation. A lot of anxiety obviously around this match due to what happened beforehand. So potentially they're getting into the zone, they're getting into the mood, and we are going on to one of their map picks, which is Piranha Pit Tower Control. So hoping that FreeZe come out this with the Piranha Pit Tower Control, and they're gonna start their own, or maybe a reverse sweep. You never know. They could come out with a reverse sweep at this point. There's still the chance of that one.
Yeah, and that's actually really interesting. In the last set, Starburst versus Rift that we saw on stream, this was a pick. This was a map and mode pick. So we are actually seeing it again, which I think is really interesting. This is not something that you generally see in a tournament setting. So definitely interesting.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll be getting into that one in just a second here. I'm curious to see if we're going to see some more Rapids coming out, potentially the Crapid from Kyo and the Rapid Deco from Noctis. Well, I mean, we'll see, but I'm curious. I'm curious about that one. And again, on tower control, the tower's path is quite tight to that middle area, so getting it down to about 50 points is decently easy. It's just getting it much further past the sort of choke is a lot harder. I like to see. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, and as we start the match here, both teams are coming out with the weapons that we get to see. So on this side of FreeZe, we're going to see a custom jet squelcher from Zera. So going to use that Stingray for this map, of course. And then on the side of FTWin, the one switch that we are seeing is Kyo onto that slot.
Coming out from Zera, instant array coming out in the first 10 seconds of the match, trying to create room for the teammates here. FreeZe, they do lose 3, and in fact they lose 2 members quite early on, but there is still an opportunity for Zera's to get another ray and delay this. Does take out Shaq in a beautiful display, and Zera's very close to that ray, looking towards slowing that tower down on that checkpoint and going just
Yes, very well. Good timing there with Noctis's Inkjet and the Stingray from Zera at the same time. So those paired together worked very well to stop the tower there, and now both teams have 1 down right now. So we're seeing. Actually, it looks like FreeZe here did a great job at focusing Biscuit. They focused Bursty there, and now they are pushing up here. Actually doing a great job at calling out where everyone is to work together to start pushing the tower through this first checkpoint.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I might have been slightly on top of that when I said it earlier that FreeZe just needed a bit of time to warm up, be it 4 games in this case. Biscuit does manage to take down Free, who was shocking, but the Ray's coming out. Oh no, the inkjet's been found, it's been cooled out. You're done for, buddy, and that's gonna be knocked out. Biscuit and FTWin gonna retake that tower and gonna get an opportunity to push themselves.
Yeah, so right now, FreeZe does have the lead of 66, but it is not by much. So this could easily just flip around to FTWin's side here. As Keo gonna go ahead and missile all 4 members of FreeZe and Biscuit using the inkjet at the same time. So gonna use those missiles to hunt down members of FreeZe there, as Biscuit does just that. So now the Ray is down on the side of FreeZe. That is so crucial for a defensive move from FreeZe. So now the lead has switched over to FTWin's side, as Biscuit here getting 2 picks, called that out right away, and is gonna just keep up the aggression with their teammates.
Yeah, definitely FTWin showing exactly the type of team they are. That quadruple aggro coming in incredibly strong for them. Biscuit does have the inkjet, is probably going to run away. Yeah, going to save that one. Sees the Ray coming out, knows the enemy teams are going to be pushing quite hard. Wants to use that one for a defensive purpose when the armor comes online, which you can see just about comes online now. So watch, yeah, there you go. You see it, the classic inkjet armor coming out from Biscuit, who's going to try and disrupt the tower. Doesn't quite manage to get any picks off of the back of it. And I think, no, I was going to say, I thought that jet had been pulled out, but they had not. Same pattern came out from FreeZe though at the same time. Inkjet armor from Free and Nox. It was supposed to be a double one, but they were a little bit late. Zera's also with the Ray, so all the specials are coming out really early now from FreeZe. They make an attempt to get the lead, but FTWin to stop that tower just before they got it.
Yeah, Bursty there did a good job at just dropping down on the tower and getting that pick. So now Bursty is back on the tower here. Right in the tower, back to mid, painting up mid, helping support his teammates, which he does so well. And now FTWin here already pushing the tower back. They know that, you know, the longer they have the tower on this side of the map, the harder it is for FreeZe to be able to get the tower in their control and get lead. So this is that choke point that you were talking about. Once it kind of goes past this, it can be really hard to get out of that. But FreeZe doing a good job at getting Bursty off the tower. Gonna try and call out Biscuit, gets the trade. So right now both teams have 2 members up.
Yeah, not quite managing to get past that little point there. As you see, just before that checkpoint, it's quite dangerous. You don't. It can kill a lot of tower pushes because it's so close to the enemy's to the spawn, the defender's spawn. So as you can see, FreeZe doing a good job to stop that one before it gets to the checkpoint. So an opportunity for them to try exactly the same maneuvers. They need to get past that checkpoint as well. Neither of them have the first checkpoint enabled. So those 10 points are, well, there's 10 points between the 2 towers. It's incredibly close. And that's 3 down on the side of FTWin. It's an opportunity now for FreeZe to start a push of their own. Now, bearing in mind, they will have to get another wipe if they want to get the lead off of this tower. Free is shocking. He has the inkjet. He's waiting for the armor to come up. You can see it being frantically got by Mika and very close to being popped. Oh no! Mika got taken down just before the armor popped off. That's a huge pick for FTWin. That's going to completely disrupt the tower push.
Yes,
from
it
FreeZe.
is. That you saw Free there just waiting for that armor to be able to use that. Free going to get a really good pick though with the main weapon on Bursty there. So now FTWin doesn't have their armor right now here, as we're seeing Free, you know, gonna go ahead and use the inkjet against Bursty, gets the pick on Bursty, but there's 2 down right now on the side of FreeZe, and Shaq and Bursty hop on the tower. Game 5 is gonna go ahead and go to FTWin.
That was so close at the end there. FreeZe really was so close to making a comeback. The Ray came out, but the positioning of the positioning of Shaq and Bursty was too good. They managed to get the one pick they needed on Mika and hop on that tower. Incredible gameplay from FTWin to stop that just before they lost it. And FTWin, yeah, like you said, taking this 5-0 in quite decisive fashion.
Yes, very decisive fashion. I mean, but that last game though, I mean, the score there, as you can see, it was really close. It could have easily just spiraled into one direction or the other. So that was very close, the last match that we got to see.
Intensely close. I was incredibly interested in. Well, I mean, it was a match that I was really looking forward to, and I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't. It definitely wasn't disappointing, but I feel like we could have seen more from FreeZe. They played incredibly well, regardless of that. Especially considering the situation they were in. Taking that last game, nearly taking it was like 8 points within it, super close to taking that one. But FTWin again, showing why they're so strong, showing why they are one of the most powerful, teams in the Western scene.
Yes, they did a great job at that. So that means, everyone, that in grand finals of TASL 2, we are going to see FTWin versus Starburst.
NA, full on NA finals. So
Yep.
us EU frogs gonna have to run all the way back, cry a little bit, talk about how our region's the best. What do you mean? How did we lose? But I mean, it's bound to be a good set. We are going to be leaving you, so me and Marissa's job are done here. We were done with the semifinals. We're going to be giving you over to, well, I mean, after a short break and after an analyst session, you're going to be going over to Matt Ninja and 9 Whole Grains, I believe, for your grand finals. So star-studded grand finals cast, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back for the analysis desk and then grand finals.
Welcome back to the Transatlantic Splatoon League Analyst Desk, where we all just watch FTWin take care of FreeZe in 5-0 fashion. And Prodigy, the FTWin plot armor continues to hold true. They pull through when it matters most.
The plot armor is thick for FTWin. Granted, it's not entirely a plot armor. It just so happened that, their opponents lose the internet for a few weeks. It's not their fault. No, I'm joking. It was very well played, and I think really, for me, seeing the return of Shaq, the one moment that just stuck out to me is on the Reef Zones game in particular. Biscuit goes in deep. So first of all, Kyo goes in deep, then Biscuit goes in deep, and then two members of FTWin are painting around Biscuit so Biscuit can retreat after going in deep. And just that synergy going there is really turn.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that synergy is what makes FTWin so strong, and it's all about having that core roster to begin with. But FLC, of course, the circumstances around FreeZe, we were hopeful that, maybe they'd be able to pull something there, but I guess it just fell a little bit short today.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the circumstances for as long as we like, but I will say that it did actually seem as though, obviously FTWin absolutely dominated the set, but at the same time, you could tell that FreeZe needed to warm into the set in much the same way that I think we were talking about with Starburst in the previous set. And the problem was that there were each of the games, one or two of their players would be playing really, really well and would be having a great game, but then the synergy just wouldn't quite be there, right? So typically with FreeZe, what we're looking for is a kind of bait and switch play style where someone takes aggro, starts getting shot at by the enemy team, they retreat, they're already on the move back, so they're sort of anticipating this kind of damage coming up, and then their teammates come in to clean up. And the problem is that when the team is a little bit desynced, you'll still take aggro and then run away, but then your team's not there to back you up. And that's kind of the main thing that we were missing from FreeZe. And of course, again, yes, we're always going to be asking questions about the scenario, but at the same time, you could still see that FreeZe was playing well, in the sense that they still had these really great retakes on the Reef Zones game. They were still really coordinated on their defense, on pit tower control, and the only I almost was expecting them to take that pit TC game just because they did the thing that they needed to do, which was keep FTWin honest, right? They kept them to about the 50-point mark, and that means that FreeZe, who typically is really good at being able to push through the really hard part of the Piranha Pit TC push, would be able to get themselves together. But it just sort of, like I said again, it just doesn't quite mesh the way we would sort of hope for with FreeZe.
Yeah, and again, I mean, really just unfortunate overall. I think part of the meshing sort of thing could have even been consider that a lot of these teams probably want to practice even before the set starts, right? And not being given even the chance to do just that. I mean, what you saw were probably the first 5 games for FreeZe in the span of the past 2 hours or so. Obviously, I don't know for sure. I've just been sitting here on the analyst desk all day. But nonetheless, obviously, it's a little bit of a somber note, but Rissa, I think it bears repeating really how strong FreeZe's season was and how strong they can be moving forward on any other given day.
Yeah, it really does. Getting to be in the entirety of TASL 2 and watch the way that FreeZe has just been dominating the EU side of TASL that their scoreboard from the season really shows, how strong they are. They can do they can get there. They're a very strong team. It's just that today just had very unfortunate circumstances. I mean, like you said, they weren't able to really warm up, like a team normally would. So, but I agree, they're a very strong team as we got to see through the season.
Yeah, again, 20-3 in regular season games is certainly nothing to scoff at, regardless of any way you happen to slice it. But with all that out of the way, again, thank you so much to FreeZe for still participating, Noctis still finding a way to play today, at least not letting it end on Such a tragic note. I mean, obviously, you know, we'll still sit here and be a little sad about that, but I'm really looking forward to watch FreeZe specifically play in perhaps a future season of TASL or other tournaments coming up. But